guys, it's me Jen. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to my living room. This is my new sofa I've been talking about in a few videos. I have some travel videos coming out, so don't worry, more are coming. I did a whole loop around Taiwan, but I wanted to break up the travel videos because I feel like I haven't sat down and just talked to the camera in a little bit. So here we are. So towards the end of September, I approached my 1-year anniversary here in Taiwan. I cannot believe I've been here for 1 year. As of recording this, it's mid-October, so it might be more like 13 months by now, but I kind of thought it would be cool to go over and review things that I have learned this past year. I also asked you guys over on Instagram, what are some things that you learned about Taiwan through watching me, because my demographic on Instagram is quite different from YouTube. So on Instagram, it's a lot more people outside of Taiwan. So it's Japan, Canada, the United States. A lot of people from Instagram, I feel like, journeyed over to Taiwan with me from Japan. So I'm just gonna briefly touch on some things that I have learned over the year and what some other people have shared with me. So here we go. Moving abroad is already kind of daunting, whether you are moving from Asia to North America to Europe, Europe to Asia, Asia to Europe, Africa to Asia, Asia to Africa, Africa to North America to South America is like a whole thing. There's just so many cultures in the world, there's so many languages. I'm just trying to say that moving can be scary, okay? Moving to Japan at 23, and I stayed there into my 30s. Yeah, I learned a lot. Those are developmental years. I've learned a lot about myself. But I guess I didn't really think that I could learn even more by moving to another country, you know? So I moved to Taiwan at 31. I was a little bit nervous because at 31, I'm not the same as when I was 23. Very easy to go out with coworkers and go drinking, go clubbing all the time. Everyone has different priorities in their 20s, and now when I'm meeting people in their 30s, possibly they're married, they have kids, they have more responsibilities. So the chances of us maybe going to a nightclub or out drinking is not as often as when I was 23. Hangovers are not worth it, and they get worse as you get older. Basically, I just learned more about myself. So, for example, you might have seen that I have done some solo travel here in Taiwan, and I've never actually did that before. In Japan, I don't think I ever took a solo trip by myself. And I feel like moving here, and I didn't have any friend system set up right away. I only have my husband, but my husband's working a lot Monday to Friday, and I'm just here. So I really learned how to enjoy being with myself and appreciate my alone time. And so I took that and put it into solo travel. Solo travel is underrated. You can do whatever you want on your own schedule, do your own thing. It's amazing. And Taiwan is a great place to do it because I feel very safe. I feel like Japan and Taiwan are both two countries that are amazing for solo travelers, especially female solo travelers. I feel like women really care a lot about their safety when they're thinking about a place to travel to. I'm learning another language, or trying to anyway. 一个花枝丸啊，对啊。Taiwan uses traditional characters, so to me, it's more complicated. So we have this one, which is turtle, kame in Japanese. And then you have this one, which is gui, which is turtle in traditional character. So you can see it's kind of similar, but also very different. I've already said this in other videos that people are so friendly here. I'm learning that so many people have motorcycles or scooters, and I'm really missing out not being able to drive. And I feel like cafe culture in Taiwan is just next level. There's always cute cafes to go to. I'm learning as well now that I'm trying to hit 10,000 steps a day to try and get movement because I don't go to the office and work. I'm learning how active people are. When I'm out walking in the evening, there's just so many people out jogging, running, walking, getting exercise in. Okay, I have my computer here. All right, so I went over to Instagram and asked you guys, I have them all here. Taiwan seems to be a bit friendlier, easier to make friends than in Japan. I mean, I think I agree with that. I don't know, it's quite hard. There's so many different things that could go into that as to what it is and what I think it is, but yeah, I think people are noticing that it's easier for me to make friends here. Taiwan has a lot of different terrain types despite being small. Yeah, I have to agree with that. Actually, The size of Taiwan is smaller than my home province in Canada. It is small here, but there's so many different things to see. I think it's also very interesting that the whole middle part of Taiwan is just basically mountains, and 2/3 of Taiwan is mountains. Taiwan's COVID measures seem to be a million times better than Japan. People writing this, I can see by their username, are people who live in Japan. That's where their basis is coming from. Yeah, I mean, I'm so grateful for the measures put into place by the government here, how mask regulations came in like right away with the other outbreak that we had recently. Taiwan seems to respect their indigenous people more than any country I've seen. One thing I will say is that I feel like there are more resources and tours and everything like that to go learn about indigenous culture here compared to Canada. You can find almost any Japanese products and brands. That is so true. I was kind of shocked not only how many Japanese products you can find, but products from the States, products from Canada. Yeah, it's just, I was very happy. It makes me very happy. Gorgeous nature, I really enjoyed seeing the diversity of it. Taiwan is very green. Like even in the city, maybe not Taipei, but Hsinchu for sure. I learned that it's cheaper to eat out than to cook at home. And that's my opinion. A lot of my other foreign friends also have the same opinion, that it is cheaper to eat out if you're eating at like little tiny mom and pop stores, like little family chain stores. I spend more on groceries here in Taiwan than I did in Japan. One day I'm gonna get to a traditional market and film it. Someone else wrote, it's very vegetarian friendly. And maybe if you ask like a vegetarian or a vegan person here, they might have a different opinion. But for me, I do think that I do see a lot more vegetarian and vegan products here in Taiwan than I ever saw in Japan. But when I go back home to Canada, it's like even more. You will meet a lot of people who don't eat meat here. It has to do with Buddhism. So that's probably why there's more no meat products here. I learned about the indigenous people of Taiwan, the beauty of the mountains, and street food. I'm so glad because those are probably some of my top 3 things that I love here in Taiwan. I learned that I want to visit Taiwan. No one else I follow has shown traveling to Taiwan. Well, I am happy to provide. A lot of people are talking about indigenous people because I think they didn't realize that there are indigenous people here in Taiwan. And I myself, I had a feeling because I had Taiwanese friends in university and one of them was indigenous and they talked about it and I was like, oh, okay. So I learned a little bit, but I didn't realize that there was multiple tribes. Taiwan seems super outdoorsy, opposite of my expectation. I'm surprised with how many people really love to be outdoors here, love to go hiking, love to go free diving, very active. I learned that in Taiwan, the apartments usually come furnished. This threw me through a loop because I have never lived in an apartment in Japan with like sofa, bed, everything already furnished. Granted, you can find them, you just pay extra for them. It's mostly like share houses and stuff like that. I was surprised while looking at apartments here in Taiwan and at how many of them come with furniture. I feel like it's harder to find an apartment with nothing. I guess it's good in a way because if you come to Taiwan and you're just here to teach for a few years, you don't have to invest in actual apartment furniture or a fridge or a laundry machine. So yeah, there's like pros and cons to both of that. Someone wrote, I've learned through you that there is life outside Taipei. Yes, there is life outside Taipei, but I totally get what you mean because the 3 times I traveled to Taiwan before, when I was 18, when I was 20, and then again with my husband at 30, we never left Taipei. And it's a shame because it's actually very easy to get out of Taipei and the HSR, the high-speed rail, is very easy to use. And I have to say that if you're coming to visit Taiwan, get out of Taipei, go see other places in Taiwan. You will not regret it. And if you get lost, the chances of somebody helping you is very high. A lot of the people at the station who work at the station speak English, so if you can also speak English, you can find your way. I have learned through you how the country is more developed than I thought. Loving it and would love to visit. I feel like Taiwan is a gem in Asia and it's very underrated. And then because of that, when people do decide to come here, they absolutely love it. And like, yeah, I've learned that I haven't been to half these places even though I'm Taiwanese. I mean, I've had quite a few Taiwanese people tell me as well that I've been to more places than they've been and they're from here. But you have to remember, I'm not working a typical 9-to-5 job. I'm just here filming on YouTube. So I have all the time in the world to go and see different parts of Taiwan. If I was working full-time like majority of the people here, then I would definitely not be able to see Taiwan as much as I have. Someone wrote, I've learned that apartments are a lot more spacious. I think my place is a little bit misleading because when I see my other friends' places, some of my friends live in very small places, and then some of my friends live in like company housing, so they have even bigger places, or some of my friends own their place, so their place is obviously big. So it's really hard to say if it's more spacious or not. I will say that the hotels are more spacious. Someone wrote, basically everything. I've never seen content related to Taiwan, but it's been so interesting. Well, I'm so happy. I've learned summer electricity rates, as I lived in a country where it's summer all year round. I don't think people on YouTube know this, but I paid 17,000 NTD for one of my freaking power bills and I gagged. It had summer rates on it, so I had to call Taiwan Power and be like, why is the summer rate on it? Because it was paused this year due to COVID. Anyway.
17,000!
I've learned that Taiwan took COVID seriously. Yes, I think I have learned that as well. I've been living in Taipei for so many years now, but your videos have shown me how much more there is still to explore in Taiwan. Never stop exploring, I swear. I'm gonna end this here. My biggest regret from living in Japan is not traveling more. I really regret not taking the time to save money and put money aside and explore Japan more. Anyway, I'm sorry, I gave up on the microphone, it's not letting me record. I'm glad to see that you guys have learned about Taiwan as much as I have, honestly, because I feel like every time I'm making a new video, I am learning the same time as everyone else. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video, which will be back in Hualien doing something very exciting. Okay, bye!